the idea of a perfect God cannot be spontaneously generated in the mind of an imperfect person. Perhaps a better way of saying that is the idea of God cannot be spontaneously generated in an imperfect mind. The idea of a perfect God cannot be spontaneously generated in an imperfect mind. Basically, the idea from this is we do not get information about things higher than ourselves from places lower than ourselves or equal with ourselves. You cannot look on the same level and see the top of the mountain. Does that make more sense? Okay. That's the sort of idea that he's going at here. He proves to his own satisfaction that God exists. And because a perfect God is no deceiver, I have some reason to believe that the things that appear to me are true. Because God is no deceiver, I have reason to believe the things that appear clearly and distinctly to me. Because God is no deceiver, I have reason to believe the things that appear clearly and distinctly to me. Because God is no deceiver, I have reason to believe the things that appear clearly and distinctly to me. And the things in your senses appear clear and distinct, am I right? I'm waving my hands in front of you. Do you think that's probably what's really happening? Well, okay, everybody else is agreeing with you and wondering why I'm waving my arms like that. Okay. He is able to derive certain logical principles and then apply those principles to the idea of things actually existing, sense data. Again, we have a division between the mind itself and the senses. One thing that is true, as it was with Sextus Empiricus, is we do not have direct access to outside objects. Our minds do not directly perceive objects. Our minds get information about objects through our senses. We don't even have a concept of our own body, except for the fact that I can feel it. I'd see it in the mirror. Or in some cases, smell it. Oh yeah. You tested in the morning. You know you have. So, you're only laughing because it's true. The fact of the matter is, the mind is, this is where he gets into his metaphysical treatise. He's started with what he can know. And now he's saying what exists. And what he's about ready to do is start to say that there is a division between the mind and the body. His metaphysics start with saying there is something different with the mind than there is with the body. He first says, well, perhaps it's like a man piloting some sort of machine. But really, if you're piloting, if you're driving your car and you scrape it up against something, do you feel it? If I come up beside you and accidentally, of course, with some sort of razor-sharp object, brush it across your arm, do you feel it? Oh, heck yeah. So somehow, the mind and the body are connected, but are separate. One takes up space. One is influenced by other physical objects. The other is not. There is another thing, this thinking thing, this part that is really me, the I, that does not take up space. It is not affected by physical objects. Sorry, I see some pondering.
How can it not be affected by physical things when you feel pain?
Okay. What I'm saying is that this bit that is, okay, do you have a soul?
I believe so.
Where is it?
Don't know. I mean, within me.
Within you.
Yeah.
If I cut off your arm, do you lose part of it?
No.
Okay, so where in you is it? It's in your,
I don't know.
is it in your heart? Is it in your, maybe your thigh bones? Ponder, you say that's, you know, it's funny, whenever I say that, people laugh. It's interesting that during the Renaissance, they believed that the soul resided within the skull and the thigh bones. You'll laugh. You'll laugh at people. Well, what's the symbol for poison? Interesting. It's an interesting parallel. I haven't made the connection distinctly, but I think there's a connection there. So, is it the body that is primarily affected by the physical objects? Now, your body feels the pain. Your body transmits information. But have I changed who you are? Have I changed who the I is if I cut off your arm?
What about like when you take substances and like even like alcohol, or if you were saying the LSD, that's going to change your mind, the way it perceives things.
Okay, touche.
You cut my arm off, I'm going to get pretty depressed. That's going to change me.
I imagine if I cut your arm off, you're going to come at me with the other one. Here's the deal. Do you believe that your soul lives beyond you, beyond your physical death, as Descartes did?
After we die?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. As you said, with the LSD and the poison. Well, fair enough. LSD and all sorts of things that can distort your perceptions. Now, do you believe that you live on beyond your own physical death? Okay. Suppose that you have brain damaged yourself, and then after that, I'm assuming that I'm trying to. People have mentioned something about their religious perspectives, and I can't keep all of your religious perspectives straight. But suppose if I'm remembering yours right, you change your life around, you get things on the right track, you die and you go to heaven. Are you going to be Dane Bramaged in heaven? Are you going to be like, man, I was so screwed up when I was down there, and now I can't.
No, but I think it would reflect in what you do later on.
Okay.
Maybe your choices you make,
Okay.
or where you go, what you do in your physical body makes a change if you go to heaven, if you do go to hell.
Okay. It may change and affect where your final destination is. But here's the rub of the matter. Have you effectively distorted completely who that mind is that may live beyond its existence if you've taken those chemicals and even later reformed going to heaven? Are you sitting there as gosh, I've said that once as a joke. No, I can't stop saying Dane Bramaged, Dane Bramaged. Do you have a brain?
Well, if you are blind and you never see color, when you leave in your soul, will you see the color then? You know what I mean? That's in contact with your physical body.
Okay.
You don't know color. You have no knowledge of color. You don't know black from white, from blue from red. But I mean, that would make, I think, a difference. You can't just automatically come on to knowledge when you go to heaven, have